Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a charcuterie board and how to host a dinner party. I think a lot of people have a desire to host, but oftentimes don't know how to have a successful dinner party and kind of just need somebody to show them how to do it. I've met many women who once they've watched you do something, they feel like they can do it themselves. And so hopefully this video will encourage you and give you some ideas on how to plan and prep properly so you can have a successful dinner party. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a grocery list of everything that you will need for your charcuterie board. Now, if you keep watching, I'm going to show you all of the items that I purchased, so hopefully that will give you some ideas as to what to create for your charcuterie board. And in the description box below, I went ahead and put the time for you of when I show you those items that I buy. So if you want to fast forward to that part, you can do that now. And then at about noon, I went to the grocery store and Goodwill. So that's the next thing you want to do. I needed a few new dishes for this dinner party, so I went to Goodwill and was able to find some really nice things that I will show you in a moment. And then I went to the grocery store and now I'm home and it's about 1:30. So what you're going to do is unload all of your groceries as you see me doing here. When I'm unloading my groceries, I like to do it in sections. Items that need to be refrigerated, produce that needs to be washed, the items that I'm planning on using that night, and then pantry items. I did buy a few extra things for throughout the week at the grocery store as well, so I'm going to just put those in my pantry. I did buy these sausages, but we didn't end up using them on the charcuterie board, but if you want to include sausages, that's a great idea. We ended up using ribeye meat instead that my husband cooked on the green egg, but if you don't have a grill and you don't want to fuss with cooking a ribeye, then this is just another great option. I used half of this salami since it was just 4 guests total, and then I bought a package of this dry cured smoked ham. I used the entire package, and then I bought 2 small packages of smoked salmon, also using both packages, and then I bought one last assortment of cold meats. We did have a container of meat left over because we also served the cooked ribeye. And now for the cheeses. I bought a blueberry goat cheese log, a jalapeno Havarti cheese, Gouda cheese, and this camembert cheese. And I would recommend to always purchase your cheese in blocks. It's just better quality and makes for a more appealing charcuterie board. And then I bought some hummus that I'm going to put alongside some carrots that we already had at home just for an extra side dish. I bought some Kalamata olives. I bought these hickory smoked almonds. I bought some dried apricots, and instead of getting crackers, I purchased these chips. 3 bags was more than enough. I only used half of each bag and there were still chips left over, so you can even just buy 2 bags of chips. I just wanted more of a variety. I purchased all of my groceries at Aldi's and they ended up costing $80 for everything, just in case you're wanting to know a price point. And the ribeyes cost $25 for both of them. If you're wanting to host a really nice dinner party, I would suggest to set aside $100 for that. Now for the fruit. I purchased blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and cherries. I'm also going to roast these tiny potatoes, and my husband and I are going to do something fun with these bell peppers, so you'll have to keep watching for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put all of my items that need to be refrigerated in the fridge. Now, if you're wanting to do a few things the day before to make it easier for you the day of your event, you can do what I did. I made sure to deep clean and organize my fridge the day before. Now, I will give you little tips like this throughout the video just so you kind of have a better idea of the order in which to do things when you're planning an event like this. And this just ensures that the day of runs as smooth as possible for you. And then, once you're done loading up your fridge, you want to go ahead and put all of your clean dishes away and load your dishwasher with all of your dirty dishes in the sink as well as throughout your house. Making sure also to scrub your sink really well when you're done doing the dishes. Now, you're going to want to go ahead and wash all of your produce. First, I place all of my produce in the sink and fill it up with cold water. making sure to dance while I wait for that to finish. It's really good to have some music playing while you're working so you can be dancing and actually enjoying your experience of prepping for a party instead of running around like a chicken with your head cut off, stressed out the whole time. Music just really helps put me at peace and really kind of brings me into that place of enjoying the process. And then once the sink is filled up with water, you're going to want to sprinkle 1 cup of baking soda over your produce and then pour 2 cups of distilled vinegar on top of that and let that sit for 20 minutes. Now, while the produce is being cleaned, I like to go ahead and dry any of the dishes that needed to be washed by hand at this point, making sure to set out drying mats next to the sink for the produce. After 20 minutes, you can go ahead and rinse your produce really well and then set it out on the drying mat to dry. Okay, now I'm going to go through my Goodwill items so I can go ahead and wash those by hand at this point in time. I always like to check out their mug section because sometimes you can find little treasures. I have found really great Starbucks mugs as well as handcrafted mugs in the past. Today I found an Opal House mug for Christmas time that I really like. We celebrate Christmas year-round in our home. I also found this World Market teardrop dish I'm going to put the olives in for our charcuterie board. And then I found this round crystal dish that I'm going to use as our little fruit platter. This was $7, but their green ticket items were half off, so it ended up only being $3.50. Then I found this super cute glass dish for 60 cents that I'm going to put the apricots in. This other round dish I will use for the almonds I got. I love all of these dishes because I know I'll be able to reuse them for other things. The smaller dishes I'm going to just use throughout the home as catch-all trays, and I love that large round crystal dish that can be used as a breakfast tray or a decor piece somewhere else in the home or for the holidays. I love shopping at Goodwill and other thrift stores. I actually prefer it over places like Target and Kohl's because it kind of forces you to be more creative and you save money as well. All right, now I'm going to tidy up the kitchen, working in sections. So I'm going to start at the desk area and put everything back where it goes, making sure to wipe down the surface before I move on to the next section. I'm going to do that with the island and then over by the cooktop as well, making sure to first put everything away, then wipe down the countertop surfaces as well as any appliances. Now, one thing you can do the day before so you don't have to worry about the other spaces in your home is tidy up your front entryway and sweep that area. Get the guest bath ready and tidy up your living room area. That way you can just focus on your kitchen the day of. Now, I wish I would have had time to get those things done the day before, but here lately we've been quite busy, so my sweet husband was able to help me. But if you don't have anyone to help you and you want to just free your husband up so you can just be a blessing to him and get everything ready yourself, I would say to do those things the day before. Most of the time I'm able to do everything the day before, but like I said, we've just been so busy, so my sweet husband was able to help me with the front entryway, the living room, and the guest bath. So now it's about 4 o'clock and our guests are going to be arriving in 2 hours. So now that I'm done with the kitchen, I'm going to go ahead and take a shower. I have naturally curly hair and it takes a couple of hours for my hair to air dry. So I like to hop in the shower now and give it that time to dry while I get other stuff done before my guests arrive. I also like to put my outfit on that I'm going to be wearing that evening, and then I just wait till right before my guests arrive to go do my makeup. So I would recommend for you to go ahead and take a shower now. And once I'm out of the shower, the first thing I like to do is set the table. I'm going to go ahead and move everything off of the table first, then I'm going to spray the table with my homemade furniture polish. I will leave the recipe for this in the description box below for you guys as well. What I'm going to do for today's table setting is just take a roll of paper wrapping paper. I purchased these at the dollar store and they're great for presents as well as table runners for parties. And once that is on the table, I'm going to go ahead and do my place settings. I try to avoid paper products as much as possible. I have a strong conviction about how wasteful we are in America. I know this is kind of an odd conviction to have, but whenever I see people wasting paper products or using them excessively simply out of laziness because they don't want to do dishes, it genuinely bothers me, and I have to keep my opinions to myself because I know that we all have different convictions. But for me personally, I try to use non-paper products as often as possible when I'm hosting an event, but please just do whatever you have grace for. Now, these are the napkins that we use during the week as well as when we host people, and my husband did make these napkin ring holders for me out of pieces of wood that we had left over in our garage from previous projects that we've done. Now I'm also going to go ahead and set a square piece of granite that we made sure to get a cut out of when our granite countertops were being installed. I'm going to use this to place candles on along with some greenery that I'm going to loop through the candles. I purchased these candles from Costco for $20 for the set, and the glass vases are from the dollar store, and the greenery was half off at Hobby Lobby. This table setting, not including the granite, cost about $35, but it's great because you can use it seasonally and for so many things. So that's just a little tip if you want to host an event, but you don't want to buy decor every time you do it. Just buy one simple, minimal table setting that can be used at different events. Okay, so now that the table is set, we have about an hour and a half before our guests arrive, and this is about the time that I start cooking and prepping all of the food. So the first thing I'm going to do is bake the little potatoes. I went ahead and set the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm simply just cutting the potatoes in half and setting them in a glass bowl. I like to add my seasonings first, so I'm going to just sprinkle on some garlic powder, some rosemary, some pepper, and salt, and then mix the seasoning into the potatoes with my hands, and then I like to massage in a little bit of avocado oil. Then I go ahead and I spread the potatoes out onto a baking dish and bake those in the oven for 1 hour, making sure to stir the potatoes every 15 minutes. Now, your potatoes may get done quicker than that. That's just how long mine took to cook. Now, my sweet husband is going to cook these peppers for me next. My husband is actually an incredible cook, and so I love to cook with him in the kitchen. A lot of times for date nights, we will cook at home because we just love being together, cooking together, and enjoying one another in the comfort of our own home. So basically, all he's doing is rubbing avocado oil really well onto each bell pepper. Then he simply turned the cooktop onto high heat, placed each bell pepper directly over the fire, making sure to rotate the peppers as they were cooking once each section was burnt slightly on the surface. He did this until the bell peppers were perfectly charred on all sides, and then he went ahead and placed all of the peppers into a glass bowl, immediately placing plastic wrap over the bowl. We let that sit for about 30 minutes, and then all we did was scrape all of the burnt pieces off of the bell peppers using my hands. It comes off quite easy, and then I simply de-seeded and de-stemmed all of the peppers and sliced them into small pieces as another side dish for our charcuterie board. Now I'm going to just show you how I prepped the rest of the food. I'm going to just go ahead and set everything on the table as I'm finished prepping it. First, I'm going to start off with the apricots, just setting them in this glass dish that I showed you from earlier. I have been craving fresh juices lately, and so my husband and I purchased this large bag of carrots earlier on in the week to make some fresh juices with. So I'm going to just use about 10 of these carrots, peel them and cut them into bite-sized pieces and add those to the other dish I got from Goodwill, along with some of the red pepper hummus that I purchased at Aldi, and set that on the table. Now I'm going to just set the almonds in this white dish that I already had. Now I'm going to take this round white platter that I already had and place all of the chips on it. And then I'm going to take my little round teardrop dish that I got from Goodwill and place the olives in it. And then I'm going to take this white rectangular dish that I already had to place all of my cheeses on. Now, the dishes that I already had are things that I have purchased over the years. If you're wanting to get into hosting, don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff right away. Just buy a little bit at a time like I did in this video. Every time I have to host a new event, I'll go check out Goodwill and purchase a few new things to add to my collection. Now, by the time I was done prepping my cheese platter, my potatoes were finished. So I just went ahead and set those in this glass dish and put aluminum foil over it to keep it warm before our guests arrived. Now it is time to place all of the meats that I purchased on a platter, leaving space on the platter for the ribeye meat. And then I went ahead and took my new round glass dish and placed all of the fresh fruit on it. If you're not able to afford organic produce, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you wash your produce like I did and you'll be good to go. All right, now my husband's gonna go ahead and grill the ribeye, and while he does that, I'm going to go ahead and finish getting ready. And then all you have left to do is light the candles, and now you are ready for your dinner party.